Good evening, St. Lucia, and welcome to another edition of Chill and Chat, the show that brings you closer to the candidates of the Saint Lucia Labour Party. Every week, we sit down with one of our newly endorsed candidates to hear their stories, their vision, and share in their journey to becoming the endorsed candidate for the Labour Party. This evening, I have with me Mr. Danny Butcher, the endorsed candidate for Vieux Fort South. Danny, welcome to Chill and Chat.
Thank you so very much, Maundy. Thank you for having me. Good evening to Saint Lucia, and good evening to the best constituency in Saint Lucia, the home of Labour.
Oh, I thought you were Castries South.
We're not going to enter into that debate
No
today.
debates today.
No debates,
today.
for sure.
All right, Danny. So, Danny, tell us about yourself.
Well, I mean, you've already told all of Saint Lucia that my name is Danny Butcher. I grew up in the Mang in Vieux Fort South. I've already told all of Saint Lucia that I'm the son of a janitor and the son of a cook as well. I'm number 6 of 7 children my mom and dad shared. And together we grew up and we shared wonderful, wonderful experience. My mom was this great woman of faith and prayer and religious pedigree and discipline. I got that from her. But my dad, I learned from him more friendship, laughter, kindness, forgiveness, because he was that kind of man. So I got that from him as well. And every time I think of Vieux Fort South, every time I think of my experience in Vieux Fort South, it always takes me back to some of those elders that you will remember in Vieux Fort South, like Awai and Mazemawi and Mr. Rakubal. And I'm just mentioning those names because sometimes you would be up to mischief and they would definitely be the ones to reprimand you. But it also reminds me of my experiences that I had with my friends like Kendall and Dwight and Ashley and Climacus, and the way we would have played cricket, not always on the field. We'd play cricket in people's yards,
Right.
and we would play marbles the right way, and we'd go fishing, and we'd go to the beach. So this was generally my experience raising in the Mang. I'm sure you would have heard stories about having to be carried from the Mang to the main road because after floods,
Yes.
it would be full of mud. These are true stories. I experienced that as well. And I also remember, because of that experience, sometimes my mother would send us to carry stones. You know where the promenade is in Vieux Fort right now?
Right.
It wasn't always like that. There were lots of stones there. So we used to have to go and carry stones from the promenade and to place it in the Mang so that we can jump from one set of stone to the next to make it to the main road. So that's my experience really growing up in the Mang. But it was also fun times. There were times we would have to go and carry water. And while you're going to carry that water, you have to say good morning to
The whole neighborhood.
to the whole neighborhood, especially Mabwa. You have to say good morning to Mabwa, or else your parents beating you if you did not say good morning to Mabwa. But all of that experience allowed me to really empathize with people and to be the person that I am today. And so that's why I'm happy to represent Vieux Fort South.
So, the person that you are today, tell us about him. I know some of us know that you were a teacher, but I know some other things, but I want you to tell that story.
What other things do you know? Well, apart from teaching, apart from politics, other things that I like doing.
Yes, to me, I heard you, sometimes you're a man of God and you...
Oh, for sure. I love public speaking, so there were times I would definitely lead out in church services.
Right.
It's very good. You should catch a few of them online.
Well, I heard about it, so you need to give me the
I
link,
will
because
send-
some
I will
people
send
tell me
you some.
Pastor Danny. I said, Pastor Danny?
But apart from that as well, I love playing cricket. I love playing dominoes. All of my friends would know cricket, dominoes. Then he loves traveling, and then he loves food. I'm a foodie. I love eating. I'm just going to tell all of you Fort South that right now.
So feed you.
I love it. Feed me.
Right. Okay, Daddy. So now that you teacher, sportsman, well, I don't know, you claim sportsman.
Not really sportsman. I'm not going to claim sportsman by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay. So, now that you've stepped into the political arena, Danny, people want to understand the why. Why would you leave your career? Why would you leave your privacy? Why would you get into elective politics?
Well, getting into elective politics, I don't think anybody gets up on a morning and say, I want to run for elections. You don't grow up. Well, I didn't grow up wanting to be a politician. All you have in your mind is that you want to serve the people, and you want to serve people well, and you want to give back to your community. And now that I've said giving back to my community, I remember I was in grade 6, and a teacher of mine, Mr. Mooney, it was the first time I ever heard the term giving back to your community. He said, when you leave school, how will you give back to your community? And I didn't really understand it at then. I could not have conceptualized it at then, but I always knew I wanted to serve. And so for me, entering elective politics is all about serving people and all about giving people. It must be people-centered. And the obvious question is, you could serve anyway. You could be people-centered anywhere. Why politics? The thing is, politics allows you a broader and a wider ability to serve. The fact that you could get engaged in legislative reform, in policy formation, in prudent allocation of resources, albeit with people at the center of it, that's why you enter politics. That's why I enter politics.
Nice, very lovely. And Danny, you're doing this under a Saint Lucia Labour Party banner. And
You have a problem with that?
Oh, definitely not. And you've made the right choice. You're doing this under the Saint Lucia Labour Party banner, and I know Vieux Fort South is very near and dear to the Saint Lucia Labour Party. What is that connection that you have with the community, and what do you see as the strengths of Vieux Fort South?
Vieux Fort South, many strengths, but very short. Vieux Fort strong.
Vieux Fort strong.
Vieux Fort is strong, and Vieux Fort has always been strong, and it will always continue to be strong. It's a good mantra, but really what it is telling us is the resilience of the people. We've gone through seasons of anxiety, really periods of distress, and very dark periods that the rest of Saint Lucia and possibly the region will know. But the fact that people from Vieux Fort South, even after those seasons, keep bouncing back, keep coming back, still striving for excellence, great levels of productivity. There is still this great belief, there's still hope. It tells us that we're really a resilient people. And also just the composition of the human resource of Vieux Fort South. We have the best doctors, we have the best teachers, we have the best policemen, we have the best sportsmen, we have the best businessmen.
You sound like a friend of mine from Vieux Fort. Like, Vieux Fort is the utopia. Everything is perfect.
I am so happy I'm not disappointing you.
Let me tell you, you are true to form. True to form. Vieux Fortian at heart.
And the fact that we have such a high level of excellent human resource, it says that complements each other. It says that with that resilience and with that excellent human resource, we are ripe for economic takeoff and for social takeoff as well.
Lovely, Danny. Boy, you know, a little again, you make me want to be from Vieux Fort, but
Changing the me ID card.
you know, but Saint Lucia, we're chatting with Danny Butcher, the endorsed candidate for Vieux Fort South, and this is Chill and Chat. I'm your host, Maundy Lewis, and we'll be right back after the break.
Vieux Fort South, it's your turn. This Sunday, September 28th, the Saint Lucia Labour Party proudly presents Danny Butcher, your candidate to lead with integrity, commitment, and determination. Join us at the Vieux Fort Recreation Park as we stand together with our political leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, to celebrate leadership, unity, and progress. This Sunday, Vieux Fort comes alive with Danny Butcher and Prime Minister Pierre. We are moving forward together.
St. Lucia, it's time to chill and chat. Every Tuesday night at 8 on Hot 7 TV. Join Maundy Lewis as she sits with candidates of the Saint Lucia Labour Party, sharing their stories, their vision, and their plans for you. Let's move forward together. Don't miss it.
Welcome back, St. Lucia, to Chill and Chat. I'm your host, Maundy Lewis, and I'm sitting with Mr. Danny Butcher, the endorsed candidate for Vieux Fort South. So we left off with Danny really, selling us, making us all want to be from Vieux Fort. But Danny, I love the story and the passion for people, and this is what the Labour Party is about, putting people first.
You're correct.
When a Labour Party, you speak about things that I don't know, and then I see Vieux Fort in its present situation. There's a transformation for people, and these things matter, the roads and the footpaths.
You're very correct.
It's when I hear people say, what has been done in Vieux Fort, you've really, broadened my mind in terms of the physical and infrastructural changes that have gone on in Vieux Fort.
But even Monday, people would ask you what has happened in Vieux Fort over the years. Sometimes aren't even persons from Vieux Fort. When you live with people from Vieux Fort, they share with you very authentic and real experiences, and that is why it is no surprise that people from Vieux Fort South keep voting the Saint Lucia Labour Party. It's not that we take it for granted, but it's because we've touched the quality of lives of the people of Vieux Fort South that they keep placing their trust in the Saint Lucia Labour Party.
Very nice, well said. So Danny, now let's look ahead. If the people of Vieux Fort South... When the people of Vieux
Very
Fort
nice.
South, my apologies, Saint Lucia. When the people of Vieux Fort South place their trust in you and you become the next MP, what will your top priorities as a representative be?
Very good question. I think there are many issues and concerns in Vieux Fort South that we have to address. And if I have to line up three of them, not in any particular order of importance, one would have to be ownership of land. The people in Vieux Fort South must have access to the lands on which they live.
Yes, and I know Dr. Anthony had been championing this for
Yes.
years.
There is a level of comfort, there is a level of human capacity building that when persons own the lands on which they live. So they must have access to the lands on which they live. But while we're speaking about land ownership, we must never forget that acres of our lands were sold to a foreigner.
Yes.
And we must do everything in our power as a government to give those lands to the rightful owners, which would be the people of Vieux Fort South. Because as we look at development, as we look at the building, housing, as we look at building of factories, as we look at building of roads, as we look at building of other forms of infrastructure, we need land. And a lot of those land is no longer ours,
And
so we have to get it back.
Habited land for 99 cents per acre. Yes, 99 years.
Yes, so we need those lands back. Number two would have to be really infrastructural development. I think Dr. Anthony did an excellent job in creating the foundation. But I think Vieux Fortians now at the time where they want the infrastructural development to be transitioned into something as I move around, they're big on aesthetics now. So they keep speaking about, they want a sporting city. They want that's the stadium.
Yeah.
They want a high performance center. They want a children's park.
Right.
They want an administrative building.
Again,
they want
which began under Dr.
and
Anthony
stopped and now.
Stopped.
They want their library. They want sporting facilities to be rebuilt, and those who have not been built, they want it. So I think they're very big on infrastructure now. They want an entertainment center, rightfully so. So I think that would be a priority as well. And simply put, number three, job creation, whether it be in clerical work, technology, manual work, we must create lots of job opportunities for the people of Vieux Fort South.
Right, and I hear people at the center of all of this, and I guess you have a very strong legacy to build on. Are you daunted by that in any way?
Not at all.
I've always wanted to ask you that question.
Not at all. He's a man of high repute.
Yes.
But he's a man that you learn many things from as you engage with him.
Okay, lovely. So Danny, leadership comes in many forms, and beyond policies, it's also about character of the representative. How do you see yourself serving people, and what kind of leader do you want to be?
I thought I told you to ask me easy questions. What kind of leader? Number one, I want to be a leader of integrity. I think and I believe each leader should have a moral compass, a value system that directs your decision making. And that value system should never be sold to the highest bidder. And so as you make those decisions, it must always be centered around people. So number one, integrity. Number two, I want to be a leader of inclusiveness. I want the people of Vieux Fort South to know, irrespective of your background, where you're from, your age, your ethnicity, your race, irrespective of anything that you've done before, you have a more than a fighting chance to contribute to the development of Vieux Fort South, because as long as you put forth a proposal or an idea that's workable, we're going to work on it. And number three, I want to be a leader that engenders social participation. I want people of Vieux Fort South to look around, and I said it in Denry, and I'll say it again, look around your community, look at the economic issues, the environmental issues, the social issues that's affecting Vieux Fort South, develop solid plans and solid proposals to address those issues. And when you do that, not only would you engage in social participation, but you will engage in problem solving and civic accountability. And that's the kind of leader that I want to be.
Lovely. And if your friends were to describe you in 3 words, what would that be?
In 3 words, if my friends in Vieux Fort South would describe me in 3 words, I think authentic would be one. Very, very real, very authentic. Anything you see me doing now in Vieux Fort South is not because I want to run the election. It's because I've been doing it all my life. So when you see me playing dominoes with the bus drivers, I've been doing this for 20 years. If you see me seated on the field watching cricket, all my life I've been doing it.
Like from 10?
Yeah. I could actually call out names of people that would tell you, yeah, he's been there from such a young age watching cricket with us and playing cricket with us as well. I mean, if you see me in the square having an absolute good joke, it's not because I want to run an election. I've been doing this all my life. So I think authentic is one. Compassionate might be 2. I hope you think I'm compassionate. And that you could listen to the issues of people and empathize with them. And maybe you do not have a solution for them at the present time, but you give them hope that we will find a solution. And so I think compassionate is number 2. And maybe number 3 would be calculated. I'm not irrational. Very calculated. I don't make very rush decisions. I'm not irrational. I'm not impetuous. I take my time to make certain decisions. So I think calculated.
Wow, you must have some really nice friends if they would say these great things about you.
Yeah, I have nice friends. But most of all, they'll start off and say he loves a good laugh and he loves to eat. That's what they'll say, first thing.
Very nice, Daddy. And so we've covered your serious side, but viewers, and well, clearly we've gotten some insight into that humor of yours this evening. But if you could, and I love asking people these questions, if you could start all over again, what would you be?
Well, definitely, as a little boy, I never envisioned myself as a politician. But if I had to start all over again, having full knowledge of this, there is this thing on social media, red button, blue button. If you had all the knowledge of the present knowledge of now, would you still make the same decision?
Correct.
I would make the same decision. I would take all the phone calls. I would take all the messages.
Really?
I would. I really would, because every time you assist somebody, and that level of gratitude, it makes you feel really, really happy that you could have addressed an issue and somebody's life is better because you paid attention and you helped them and you addressed them. Sometimes even when they come, sometimes very angrily, very hurt, and that you take time to listen, that makes you feel really, really good.
Yeah, and I can hear the compassionate side of you coming out there, Danny. You know, Danny, you are standing in the shoes of the great Honorable Dr. Kenny Anthony.
It's like a Moses and Joshua situation.
Ooh, boy, I don't envy you. And we also have a Prime Minister. I will be really biased if I start bragging. But
You have all good rights to brag.
right, he has done phenomenal work in the last 4 years. But Danny, the Labour Party has some great leaders. We've had some great leaders. What do you think about the leadership of the Saint Lucia Labour Party, and how do you think that has impacted you as a young person growing up?
Well, I've loved politics, not elective politics, but I've been introduced to politics from a very young age. I remember when my mother took me to my first rally. It was the launching of Kenny Anthony in Vieux Fort South. I could never forget what she said when we went there. She said, "No pasa ped kusa." I could never forget that. But as we look at leadership in the Saint Lucia Labour Party, and as I look at various characteristics of those leaders, one, Dr. Anthony for sure would have impacted my development. And one thing I took from him is what I call process. Any project, any plan, any policy that has to be initiated or enacted by Dr. Anthony, he likes process, and I've learned that. You must look at it, the project, from the beginning to the end, the objectives, the goals, the benefits, everything that will go wrong, and what are the contingency plans to address anything that would go wrong. And so maybe that's why I'm a bit calculated, because I learned that from Dr. Anthony. From our current Prime Minister, Honorable Pierre, just his passion for people, the way that he loves people. I met him a few weeks ago. We were having a conversation, and just off the bat, first thing he said to me was, "It's because you love people. There is no other reason for entering politics. It's because you love people and you want to serve people." And the third leader would be George Odlum. I mean, for the times that he was Labour. I love George Odlum, not only because he was an excellent orator. Even now, I still go back and listen to George Odlum's speeches. But I always found that George Odlum had the ability to marry the intellect with the compassion of the people, with the will of the people. He had the ability to go to university, to get a degree, to be well-schooled, but still remain connected with the people in a very, very common sense. Keep your ear on the ground. And when you keep your ear on the ground, then you're able to share in very authentic experiences and very real-life experiences. And it keeps you grounded and it keeps you humble. So these would have been the three politicians and leaders of the Saint Lucia Labour Party. You might say 2.5 because of Odlum. 3 leaders that I absolutely enjoyed.
Lovely. And you spoke about Honorable Pierre, talking about people, and every day when I speak to him or I walk into his office, he says, "Maundy, remember the people."
Remember the people.
No matter what we're talking about, I could be speaking about my dogs, and he will somehow bring it back into the people.
That's it. He has an absolute true love for the people, and you cannot go wrong. He's a leader you could trust. I said it in Castries East. He's a leader that you could trust.
But Danny, as we wrap up, just one very important question. What's your favorite dish?
All. All. That's my favorite dish. I cannot tell a lie.
All.
And so if I say anything else but all, someone will say, don't believe him. He loves eating. All is his favorite dish.
Very nice. All okay. All right. So, Danny, as we wrap up, I'd like to give you the final word. What message do you want to share with St. Lucians watching this evening and with the people of Vieux Fort South?
Thank you. I would love to tell the Vieux Fort South that, first of all, thank you for choosing me as the endorsed candidate for the Saint Lucia Labour Party. And the love and warmth I have received as I move from house to house. And to be very, very honest, some of you, I was not even your first choice, but as soon as you heard that I was endorsed, you came on board and you shared that kind of love with me. I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of it. But I want to tell you that I want to be a parliamentary representative that is present. I want to be a parliamentary representative that's accessible. I want, after I win this seat, that you could still call me and that I would be present. I still want to share in your sorrows and I still want to celebrate in your joys. And I also want to be a parliamentary representative that will take you to new heights in Vieux Fort South. Because as I move around Vieux Fort South, I know you have this great desire and great eagerness to move forward. So I want to be that parliamentary representative for you.
Thank you, Danny, for joining us on Chill and Chat and really enlightening. Even if you pester me on most days, but no, truly, this has been a great conversation, and we look forward. I know St. Lucians look forward to hearing from you after that debut you had in the Valley a couple of weeks ago. But St. Lucia, thank you for joining us on Chill and Chat. I'm your host, Maundy Lewis. And again, thank you, Danny Butcher, endorsed candidate for Vieux Fort South, for joining us. See you next time, Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Hot 7 TV.